Beautiful. God bless you all. And thank you for joining us here tonight on Blue Dream Love and Wellness. This webinar tonight is on insomnia. Lord knows we have all probably suffered from this, whether we cannot fall asleep, whether we fall asleep and boom, at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, our peepers open and we cannot go back to sleep. Or we wake up every few hours to use the restroom. There's just so much that is involved in insomnia. The more I read, the more classes I've taken. And then I just recently took another one, and it is simply amazing the little bitty webs, so to speak, that we get ourselves into and we don't even realize it. It's like, shebang, I can't sleep. Well, man, the reason this is so passionate for me, I have been a chronic insomniac most of my life. The longest I've went is 19 days without sleep. I suggest not doing that, shiznit. That is just woo, way off the mark. And you can't think, you can't hardly breathe at times. So I'm going to break this down here. If you have a question, please drop it in the box, in the chat box. Let's keep it going. I want everybody to interact and participate. We're going to do a few things. I'm going to shut you down so you can just see the words. Now, we know from all of our years that insomnia is a sleep disorder in which you have, like I said, trouble falling to sleep or staying asleep. This condition, as we all know, can be acute. It can last 1 day to 3 weeks. Chronic can last 3 nights for a lifetime. Let me tell you, it's really difficult to get it under control. But once you learn what your body is literally saying to you, whoo, it speaks loud and the messages are strong, but we aren't hearing. But once you understand, it is simply amazing how we can shut it down and let it sleep. So common long-term insomnia, stress. Lord knows there's a lot to stress about nowadays. Worry. What are we going to change by worrying? We're not going to change anything. We just need to lift it up and pray about it. Our health, we can work on and change. Emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, we can change all aspects of this. Family. Family does keep our minds active. There's a lot going on. And then we have communication. The list is humongous, right? When it comes to insomnia and what stresses us out, because each one of us are going to be stressed a little bit differently. Now, to start off with, your bedroom at night. Many people don't have their bedroom sleep friendly. Do you have your bedroom sleep friendly? Let me know in the chat if you do. Do you go to sleep at the same time, have an alarm and get up at the same time so your body knows exactly what it's supposed to be doing? Do you have it trained? Are you avoiding caffeine, nicotine, or alcohol close to bedtime? Because that can set it off. Even though in the morning time we think this caffeine is going to do our body such wonderful things, remember it eats good and bad bacteria. It also drains our adrenal glands and we are left exhausted. It does give it a little bump in the morning, but that bump comes right back down. Getting regular, and I do mean regular, physical activity during the daytime. And do it 5 to 6 hours before bedtime. Some people do it right before they go to bed and can't figure out why they can't sleep, because their blood is pumping, their heart is pumping. You want to prevent calm, peace, hormone. A lot of people, when they don't sleep at night, they like to take an afternoon nap. I have read pros and cons, and I'm sure you have also, on both aspects of this. But what if, instead of taking a nap, you would do a thyroid push for 20 minutes and allow your body to hum? So what you would do is you would put your feet on a pillow, up on something above your heart for 20 minutes. While you're doing it, have your hands on your heart center and breathe. deeply. I don't mean shallow in breaths. I mean, get that tummy involved, push that baby out, breathe it in, blow it out, get some energy moving in your body and allow that to ingratiate. If you're still having a little bit of trouble with your energy, tap on your kidney points, pull out your ears. There's things that we can do to give your body energy without having to do bad things for it. Turn down the lights a couple hours before you go to bed. So everything in our house, unless this is going on, webinar or emergency, whatever, our stuff is shut down at 8 o'clock. Boom, you're done, you're over with, no more. Nothing is plugged in our bedroom. It's all free because of the simple fact, when you have EMF and these phones plugged in by your head, what are you going to get all night? EMF toxicity, which does what? Damages your DNA, impairs your cellular function, and makes you fatigued because that mitochondria is not going to be okay. So there's a lot of reasons to get these devices out of your bedroom. Get a book, read, but we'll do a little thing at the end that I'll teach you on. Ingratiate yourself, love your body. And as I said, keep all the devices out. I already went over that. You wouldn't believe how many people with their children have devices plugged in and has them playing all night long and then wonder why their children or themselves nerves are fried and they're not sleeping. EMF toxicity is real. We can have pendants, we can have towers, we can have little things like this tower that sets over here by my computer. You can have selenite. There's so many things that we can utilize, but does it all really work? I wonder a lot of times with all the research I've done. So by sleeping at night, we have got to get great sleep beginning in the morning. And you're thinking, wait a minute, I sleep at night. What does morning time have to do with it? It has everything to do with it. Each of us are born, as you know, with a circadian rhythm that connects to the rhythm of nature. Located in the hypothalamus, very small region of the brain, the subcharismatic nucleus or nuclei, SCN, okay, where the optic nerves cross. Test, are your optic nerves crossing or are they not? You'd be surprised at what you find. So the subconscious, the subcharismatic nuclei governs the circadian rhythm. So the master pacemaker of the system coordinates biologically processes such as sleep, food intake, and you'd be surprised how much food intake has to do with our sleep, hormone production. And what about when light enters that optic nerve at night? Is it going to go to sleep or is it going to fire it? It's going to fire it. Exercise, social stimuli, temperature. People don't think temperature has a lot to do with sleep, but the lower you keep your temperature in your room, better for sleep. And you are not sweating through the night. You're not tossing off covers. Your body is chilled. Dark room, covers over your eyes, a mask, whatever you have to do. But feedings can actually, doing these things inappropriately can actually disrupt that natural circadian rhythm. And you don't want to disrupt your natural circadian rhythm. So this is just what kind of hormones, et cetera, are produced. So in the frontal lobe, the neocortex, the conscious mind, I know Dr. Brad talks about 94, 95%, other people 98%. So I just went with Stephen Hawkins. The conscious mind, 2%. It's where all that information goes and stored. The pituitary gland, very tiny, tiny little gland, progesterone, estrogen, thyroid production. The hypothalamus back here, thyroid, adrenaline, cortisol, the circadian rhythm, the pineal gland. There's so much. And actually the reptilian crisis, the instinct that we have within us, are all of these functioning correctly, is our triple warmer flipping and flying and have a generator underneath of it, and it's not calming down, and that's why your body cannot heal. That's why your body cannot sleep. How many of you have heard about the triple warmer and what it is all involved in? Drop me a note if you would. Okay, so let's talk about while in your mother's womb. You are likely synchronized to your beautiful mama's circadian rhythm. Okay, once born, that circadian pacemaker you're born with, weeks to months, actually synchronized to your own little system. And that is why mommy and daddies and parents, their little bundle of joy, is adjusting now to their new sleep cycle, not to mama's anymore, to their own. And that's why parents are so exhausted, because they're not in regulation with their child's sleep cycle. So when we have an imbalance, even in our womb stage with the circadian rhythm, it can impact us the whole way through. Have you ever had your womb stage worked on? Okay. Just a question, make you think. Before modern invention of electricity, we naturally went to sleep at sunset and arose at sunrise, right? That's what our grandparents did. Their grandparents, da 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 da. But when we came up with this beautiful electricity and the ability to biohack our natural connection to the circadian rhythm, bad habits started forming. Working past 11 o'clock. Well, when does your melatonin start in your body? Around 9, right? If you're staying up to 11 and you've got lights coming in, that melatonin's not going to activate at all. Bright lights past dark. It's so important. The darker, the more the melatonin comes on. You don't have to take the crazy stuff. Allow your body to do what it's supposed to do. Skipping exercising or exercising at the wrong time. Do you know that there's a perfect time for your body to exercise, a perfect time for your body to eat food, and you may be working against that flow? There's so many things that can disrupt our connection to your circadian rhythm. Isn't it time you find out what that is and learn to work with your energies so you can come out on top and sleep every night? Who would like to sleep 6 to 8 hours every flipping night? Lord knows I would. Now, willpower is a big part of this. Now, anyway, willpower, which is part of the logical mind in the neonatal cortex, only goes so far over time. So the initial leverage for change that you call pain, just using pain as a word, is no longer big enough to fuel that willpower. And when that triple warmer is vibrating, you have no willpower. It runs everything. So the triple warmer will lock you into flight, fight, and freeze. This is those excess hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, and noradrenaline. And they will vibrate and they will make your frontal lobe actually slip back here to the primitive mind, and only a few of your systems will function, and they will not function well. You will not be able to think correctly. It plays a huge role. We're going to learn more about the triple warmer. But when we are energized with flight, fight, and freeze, we literally can't think. So we need to recognize and use more effectively for pleasure rather than for pain. So we're going to learn a technique of how to bring the frontal lobe back in and keeping it where it needs to be. And we can do this many times a day. And at times, because you've never played with your energies before, it takes a little while for them to shift. But once they start shifting, you will not believe. I didn't think it was ever going to work for me. And now when I place my hands on certain meridian points, certain techniques, my body just starts tingling all over. And that's what you want. You want that tingle. You want that beauty within your body. So Eden energy is where I'm getting my master's through. And Donna Eden believes in utilizing our willpower to rid ourselves of these bad habits. When the triple warmer is in flight, fight, and freeze, you're not going to get through to it. We have to calm it down in order for it to work functionally and for you to be able to get past the bad habit that you are having. This is one of Donna Eden's quotes. When all your energies are brought into harmony, your body flourishes. When your body flourishes, having to lift the soul has a soil in which it can blossom in the world. And it is. These are ultimate reasons for energy medicine to prepare the soil and nurture the blossoms. So you're the soil and you blossom all around. I don't know if you've ever watched any of Donna Eden's stuff, but you know that smile, that joy, that laugh, that is all the time. She is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful soul. And when she first started in energy medicine many moons ago, she had severe allergies. She balanced her own. She could see energy. She's amazing. But then they told her when she was about 16, 15, 16, somewhere in there, that she had MS and she was going to be in a wheelchair by the time she was 20. And she says, oh, no, I'm not. And she learned how to work with these energies. And we're going to learn some of these. So this is a homolateral crossover. Many times our left brain and right brain are not crossing over. And this leaves us homolateral. We cannot cross. So when we cross, our body is more calm. And when you're under stress, due to the lack of proper sleep and other underlying conditions, those energies don't cross at all. So a standard cross crawl, and I'm going to stand up to show you, is something very easy. You can all stand up and do this. It's better if you feel it for yourself. So just a standard cross crawl, and I can't tell if you can see me or not. Let me put this back on. So a standard cross crawl is just literally, you want to rub your hands, shake that negative energy up, and you just literally go on both sides of your body, okay? But when you are homolateral, you want to do this. Now you can, if you're in a wheelchair, you can't get up, you can't move, you can do it sitting down. But if you're able to stand, you can feel the energy of the earth. So you want to pop your legs 9 times, lateral like this, and then you want to come over and you really want to swing and pop your leg. You want to do 3 sets of 3. Every single time you do these 3 sets of 3, and it will help you slowly remind your energy body to cross over. There's a couple others that we do because of the simple fact life is crazy and we need to get out there. And we know that insomnia can cause you from crossing over. Yes, I will explain what a full set is. Yes. We're just about there. I go piece by piece because I don't want to overwhelm you, because some of these techniques are like, these are way too simple to work. But believe you me, the simpler, the better, because Lord, it is so easy. Little children are doing it. And if they can do it and learn how to run the energies of their bodies, so can we. And it's really easy to do. So don't get overwhelmed. Just go slowly. We're going to start slowly. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now these 4 powerful things need to happen when sleep, which makes it mandatory for all of us. During the day, our brain is so involved in all the tasks we are doing, right? Eating, exercising, solving problems, processing all that information that comes in, the communication, watching TV, and every other task that we can think of, right? It's always coming in. It never stops. Making the decisions themselves alone takes an exorbitant amount of energy away from us, especially from our prefrontal cortex. So when we learn this new oh my gosh thing, you would be amazed at how it brings that energy back. So when we are doing these decisions every day, day to day, walking activities, these decisions are no longer conscious, are they? They are unconscious thoughts. They are considered automatic responses. Okay. So brain waste. These are the 4 things that the brain does. Let me shut this back down so you can see. So we all know that we have brain waste. Everybody knows this, right? The glyphamic system removes waste as you sleep. And I don't think I like that. Go back. So the cerebral spinal fluid flows all the way up into our brain and between your brain cells, gathering all the waste and flushing it out of the brain. This prevents the buildup of plaque, Alzheimer's, and dementia, and other maladies. But if we're not sleeping, how is our brain going to get this waste removed? It's not. It's going to build up, build up. Our head is going to become more foggy. Our right brain's not going to connect with our left brain, vice versa. The corpus callosum won't work. White matter, gray matter are going to be disrupted. We're not thinking clearly. So there's several things that we can do. Now, another thing, remember there's 4 things. Your brain organizes automatically. It is amazing what all our body does, and we simply do not stop to think about what it does do. So your brain organizes all your experiences in life through a system called consolidation. Sorry. Your brain acts like the computer itself, organizing and storing data in files, correct? We all know that, right? So these files are stored temporarily in the hippocampus until they are transferred to the long storage, that conscious brain, and to where, while you're asleep is when this occurs. And then the brain evaluates what happens during the day, that short-term memory, and discards information and keeps other information that is not needed. So this is where logic meets the ability to make the decisions in the morning, no longer needing to react to yesterday. But we still do, don't we? Because we didn't get enough sleep and we didn't organize. And some of those beliefs we've got stuck in there is making that organization tool not function properly. So remember, we have our beliefs from before age 7. We still can stack them on as the older we get. But those hardcore beliefs that we were taught with and what we surmised may not be what needs to be in our subconscious mind or kept in those files. When we do the belief code, those old files are pulled out, new files are implemented, and your brain wraps around it. The changes that happen are simply phenomenal. So the brain also at night while it sleeps renews and replenishes. Now that all that waste has been removed, we need to repair the processes of the brain. Remember how much work it is doing. And a protein derived from the neurotrophic factor gives instructions for making a protein that encourages the brain to repair and replenish the brain cells. But if we're not sleeping at night, there's not going to be no renewing. There's not going to be no replenishing. It's going to be running on fumes, exhaust, just like our vehicles when we don't put fuel in that. So when this protein gets activated within the brain, when we sleep properly, it acts like a fertilizer to those neurons, and it fires that cognitive off. Is that not what we want? Is for our cognitive to keep working, for we don't get dementia, we don't get Alzheimer's. There's so much we can do to help our bodies. Adequate sleep makes sure that this fertilizer is plentiful during the daytime. Activities like aerobic exercise can improve the nighttime processes of this rejuvenation hormone within that brain. And people don't stop to think, oh, I don't have time to do it, but they have time to sit here on this bloody little phone streaming through. Get off of it, get up and exercise. If you can't, there's chair yoga. There's so many other things that we can do to help and ingratiate our body. Sleep matters. And I know things are gone, but sleep matters. That's why we're working on this. So those bath of hormones, the very first picture I showed you was a frontal cortex all the way back to the back. So one of the things when I was very first learning about this is to improve our hormone health. And you literally, again, rub the hands, shake them off, put this palm right on your hairline, wrap it over your subconscious, your cranium, your crown point, come back here to the cerebellum and wrap this hand over. And this actually activates the hormones. You breathe deeply, do it 3 times. You can do it any times during the day. I do it at nighttime to calm them down, to be able to ingratiate them to flow. So we want these hormones in our brain. We want our brain to soak them up, such as human growth hormones, because it restores and it builds our tissues back up. Leptin and ghrelin hormones, which manage your appetite, are so very important for sleep. And it's also important for weight loss. And we don't think about that some of these hormones are for that. Additional hormones are related to strengthening your immune system and controlling your blood sugar. Remember, organs, glands, so many parts of the brain produce hormones. And some of them are not functioning because of our lifestyles and what's going on. Some of them are clear off the mark and they're completely, excuse me, disconnected from the organ itself due to the food that we're feeding it. So there's so many things that we can do to balance this. Remember, we need these hormones to reach REM sleep. We need to move forward. So one of the things my doctor told me, when I went the longest time of 22 days with no sleep, he said, I want you to stand back out. Okay, doc. Okay. And I want you to imagine. And I did this for night after night after night after night. I went back in and I said, you're cracked. You're crazy. But you know what? I didn't believe it. So manifest for 60 seconds. 60. That's it. No more, no less. 60 seconds. Pretend like you're standing outside of your bed, off the bed. You can see yourself laying down, sleeping peacefully every single night. You feel it, you own it, you see it, you taste it, because it is possible for you to achieve when you add other components in. For me, that didn't work. It will work now, but now I can see the logic, because I thought he was just playing with me. Because I never thought of him as manifesting anything. And it was like, for real, dude? Okay. So I did go back and say, okay, I gotcha. So our own mindset can keep us stopped. Remember that. Let's see if I can get this one to come. Come on, let me have it. Nope. Let me go back. Sorry, y'all. It's a storming here, so it's not always fun on a mountain when it's storming. So we have 4 sensory styles. And I know y'all know that. Your unique imprint of who you are and how you perceive the world around you. So staying aware of this unique way in which you experience energies can truly enhance your experience, you're thinking, oh man, this is crazy, but it's really not. Kinesthetic, feeling, develops 8 weeks within utero. 32 weeks, the body feels every single emotion that mama having and what's going on around. Tonal hearing develops at 16 weeks in utero, 24 weeks in utero, and they can actively listen to what is going on around them. Visual, seeing, the baby's eyes in utero remain closed till 25, 26 weeks. And at 32 weeks, they can detect the light and they will get very active. Digital, logical, within months of birth, the child will think abstractively. So we have to think, again, those womb stages, what happened in here within this field that made us not be able to sleep or to have those negative beliefs that we have. Have you ever thought about that? So I want you to stop and just to think about what you feel like when you're under stress. What does your body feel like? Drop me a note of what your body feels like in the chat. Each one of us have all 4 sensories, right? Each one of us. The stress associated with lack of sleep, learning, physical movement, emotional movement, chronic illnesses cause you to rely on 1 or 2 styles and not allow all 4 of them to work. These styles are the ones you must trust most to respond to perceived threat and are unique to who you are. But if you're exhausted and you're not sleeping, are you going to recognize that perceived threat or are you going to go over and aboard? How far is it going to go? What is the first thing you notice in your body when it's feeling stressed? Please shout it out, put it in the chat box. Let me hear what you got to say. What do you feel like? Is it a physical sensation? Do your sounds sharpened? Do your eyes get lighter? Can you see better? Or do the lights in your environment go dim when you're stressed? Do you get extremely logical or analytical? What do you feel? Let me know. Whichever way you recognize stress takes time to observe these clues, as it's the first step in learning how to adapt and recognize that change is taking place, because you will see change taking place, but you're thinking, what did I do? What changed? So what did change? You shut down. Okay, you get emotional. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Physical frustration. Yes. Have negative thoughts. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when we feel these, we need to pause, take a breath, check in, and observe. Now, per se, we're feeling it emotional. We can put where, well, we're going to talk about that, but where the emotion is, where do you feel it most? Like if it's in your heart center, you can put your hand on your heart and you can go in and remove the imbalances you're feeling, or you can place it up here, your hand here. So your roaming hand, your other hand up on your neurovascular points, which we will be talking about. And you can get into that feeling and allow that to go away. Yes, Peter, frustration and anger. Doggone straight we do. And it's very hard at times to get out of it. But what if we could, just by utilizing our hands? So the benefits of a good night's sleep. Hungry and angry. We're going to talk about why you're hungry. Benefits of a good night's sleep. Physical. It reduces accidents. Do you realize people that don't sleep go out and get in a car and unfortunately they have accidents because they're not aware, they're not awake. So it would reduce accidents. It would reduce inflammation within your body, help you lose weight. And you're thinking, why would a good night's sleep help me lose weight? We'll talk about that. Improves your immune system, decrease risk of chronic health issues. Did you realize that 80% of older adults have at least one chronic health condition? 77% have two. And many of these diseases can increase our risk of dementia. And the medicines that they give us, not that I'm knocking Western medicines, puts a Band-Aid. It doesn't take care of the problem. Emotional. When you get rest, are you as depressed or can you think clearly? When you sleep, it decreases your stress. And when you don't sleep, you're like an Energizer buddy. So better learning memory when you sleep, better decision making and choices, better mood, creativity, and connectivity. But the 8 common sleep issues: unable to fall asleep, waking up at specific times during the night, and there's a reason for that. Waking up at regular intervals in the night, waking up at irregular intervals, unable to fall back asleep, pain causing you not to fall asleep, sleep apnea, and medication side effects. I am sorry, Peter, that happened. Peter has had 2 accidents on his bicycle. And he didn't have enough sleep due to work and he had accidents. And that does happen. Thank you for sharing, Peter. That so many things can happen when we don't get a good night's sleep. Now, I know, and I'm not knocking medication for sleep, but it does play a role with how your body's rhythms go. Sometimes we do need medication, but it can interfere with your sleep cycles. So energy and medicine itself can address physical illness and emotional mental disorders. I have been really surprised by these simple techniques and what it has done for me and for clients. And you really need to ingratiate yourself and learn. And I'm here to teach you. Donna loves people to know her program. So Donna Eden's energy techniques come from healing traditions like acupuncture, yoga, kinesiology, and qigong. Energy medicine is the actual science and the art of optimizing the energy to help your body, mind, and function at their very best. And it is amazing at what it does. You can help yourself by controlling your chemistry and managing your energies on a fast track to helping you get your body to adapt to the challenges that it faces every day. And I know it can be overwhelming, but you have this to look back on, to keep checking. You can go on YouTube. Donna has amazing things out there for us to do. You can take classes like I do. You can get your master's. So this is another crossing of energies. And y'all, if you do it with me, you will feel when it feels right and you can tell when it's not. And like I said, it does take a while for your energies to get where it needs to be. But once it does, you're going to go, oh, I'm so glad I stuck with it. So don't stop. So this is the shoulder crossover pull. So again, the right brain governs the left governs the right. At times during the day, we don't have time to do this, correct? We can just grab, and I actually push in, and I do mean I push and I pull it and I shake it off. But before I do this. So I want it off of you. Your energies, contrast, come off of here to maintain health, balance, and vitality. And I do this several times a day, especially between clients And then I take my hand, shake them, and I put them on the top of my thighs. And this allows me, it used to not work at all when I first started this, but when I do it now and place my hands on my thighs, my feet get hot and it wraps up around and it comes back into my abdomen and goes up. So it grounds you so deep. And after you get done grounding, here's another little thing you can do. You can go from your pelvic floor up to your bottom lip, lock the key. That's the central meridian. The governing comes from your toe bone, comes up over. Imagine it coming over your nose, upper lip, lock it in. And the reason we lock is because we lock in our energies, for nothing can get into us, because this hooks up in the back of our mouth, the roof of our mouth, the central and governing meridians do. Just another little thing to keep you zipped up in between days. Now, the 4 thumps. This is something we need to be doing several times a day, all day, every day. Donna starts out with these. These are part of her daily energy minutes. So the stomach thump, right here is where the stomach meridian starts. We have other places, but this is where we start. You can use 3 fingers, you can use 2 fingers, and you tap. And I don't tap lightly. If you could hear it, you're thinking, man, and I do bruise myself. You bet I do, because I know if it's sore, I need that energy more. So anytime I'm going to have a meal, I do this. And I also do the one to help digest food. So we tap our stomach because that's where the food's going to go, right? So then we come down here on our K23, K27, the 27th point of our kidney meridian. We tap this. This gives us energy right at that notch. You can rub it, to the right, you can tap it, you can figure 8 it, whatever trips your trigger. I like to tap. Now the thymus is right here. You just come right down, right where he's showing. When you tap that thymus, that actually sends T cells into your body for your immune system to fight those ugly, nasty germs that we don't need in our body. Now, when I'm doing the thymus thump, I go right in between my middle of my breast to my heart meridian, to the center, and I tap them both. Because when you tap in between the center here and between your breastbones, your breastplate, that is also the pericardium, and we need to flourish and give that some energy. And then we go over to our spleen point, and you tap this. When you tap your spleen point, remember the spleen is for the red blood cells, making the sloughing, but it also helps us metabolize food, metabolize life, metabolize energy. Anything that's heavy, you can tap to allow this energy to flow into your body. And then I always like to hook up where you put your middle finger and your belly button, one on your third eye, you push in and you pull up. It's not a strenuous pull, it's not a big pull. When you breathe deep, ooh, and this is what it does. Oh, excuse me. And that's how you know you're connected, because your energy will move. It may not move at first, but believe me, when it starts moving, you're going to feel it and you're going to go, yes, I'm so glad I stuck with it. This creates an environment for your body for wellness. So Donna has a daily energy routine out there. It doesn't take long to do it. Once you get it down, it takes even less times. And I also run my meridians every day, and I do other things, but this is just a slow start to stop. Now, this is connecting heaven and earth. Not only do we do it in the morning, but we do it at night. Remember, when we connect heaven and earth, sorry, my head just went, so I'm going to tap my chin. Thank you. Our chakras are to be sitting vertically, right? And sometimes our chakras are meleeed because of under stress or what we've eaten. So heaven and earth it feels really good on the torso, and it activates the spleen meridian, and it is vital for your immune system and overall health. And additional meridians also benefit from the space of the movement that this exercise literally creates in our body. It is very good for grounding, excuse me, helps prevent arthritis because it pulls those joints, and the stuck fluid, the stagnant energy gets pulled out. That flight, fight, and freeze again response relaxes. There's so many things we do that we can relax this, and it ignites that triple warmer so it can function properly, not flying all over. So the bridge of the gap between earth, yin energy that comes up through our bladder meridian, so that would be right here is where this comes up, and heaven, and that is through our crown chakra, as you well know, and it feeds our auric field. And an excellent exercise used, like if you're transitioning, you're clearing out old energy and allowing space to come in. Now you can do this standing up or you can do it sitting down. I do it both ways depending on how I'm feeling. Whether you're coming out of sleep and getting up for your day, what a great way to do it, to open up your day in between work meetings. There's so many ways that you can do this. Again, you want to do this energy and shake it off. And when you're doing this, when you're standing, you want to bend your knees, have your hands, and go up. And the reason you're bending your knees is because you want to activate that kidney meridian. And when your hands are up, they're like this, and they're down like this. So you want to go up. And when you're looking up, you hold your breath. You come up, you take a deep breath, hold it, and then you blow it out looking down. And you do it 3 times on both sides. Do that. Tell me how that feels. How does it feel to you? Does it feel good? Take it all the way up, and we can do it in our chair. I love the stretch, and I know that my chakras are all getting aligned and rotating to the right. And it will make you yawn. It will make you tear up sometimes. And sometimes it just feels really flippin' good to do it. And it is just, now this is another thing you can do. And I didn't put this on here because I didn't want to overwhelm you. But after I do this one, it's called Calling in Heaven. And it's, sorry, y'all know I'm grounded in the Lord. So you raise your hands up like you're a cauldron, right? And you just hold it up to the heavens. You hold your head back and you call in all the ancestors, all the angels, all the saints, and everybody that you want to call in. And you will notice your fingers start to get a little numb and it goes down your arms. And that's when you come in and you bring it down and you put it on your heart center. We love these heart centers because we have to love ourselves enough to take care of ourselves properly. So you can call into heaven and put your hands on an area where you have pain, and the heat will actually come in and whoosh, dissipate the pain or bring it down. It's amazing what these little techniques will do. It's kind of cool. Anyway, let's keep going. Oops. Excuse me, the hookup. This one is very important. I know we just did it, but I didn't explain it. So this is the connection between the upper and lower body, the central and the governing meridians. You really want these energies to be flowing quite well. And as we know, the central meridian comes from the pubic bone, goes up, goes into the lower, the tailbone comes over, the governing meridian hooks up in the top of your mouth, excuse me, in the back of your throat. Together as a whole, they act as an energetic spine while connecting the mind and the body and keeping those radiant circuits accessible. Now, you will hear me talk more about radiant circuits, but not tonight. Keep smiling. Smiling is a radiant circuit. The more smiles that we give into our body, the more love we put out there. Smile, smile, smile. People be wondering what you're up to. Just know that you're happy and blessed right where you are. So as I told you, energy, shake off the still, middle finger in our belly button, middle finger here in our third eye, push up and pull up. Now we can also, and some of this stuff isn't in these notes. There's so much, we would be here for hours. You can also shut your third eye down at night. It will pop back open at the morning. You just come up here, rub clockwise, bring it down. Rub clockwise, bring it down. Rub clockwise, bring it down. And you can go shh and just tell it to be quiet. Because one of the problems that I have with sleeping is that I have a monkey mind of all the stuff I didn't get done that I got to do, and it never stops. So shut it down, let your mind think. Now, the circadian rhythm itself is the CPU in your background while you sleep. It optimizes numerous of important hormonal factors, which a lot of people think, oh, this can't be helped, this can't be helped, I got to take medicine. Nah, not so much. Melatonin, as we know, is produced during sleep. If you feel behind both of your knees, right where you bend in the center, there's a little notch right there. There's your little melatonin button, and you can massage that little puppy, but make sure you're going clockwise or do figure eights. Now, shh, you didn't hear that ear. That's just something I've learned over the years. So since melatonin helps you sleep, if you stay up too late or keep the lights on, your melatonin is not gonna be set. It's gonna really create difficulty for you sleeping, and the impaired function or production of melatonin caused by sleep during the daytime affects nighttime shift workers horribly, and it's really hard on them. So there's things that they can do too. And these important hormones that activate, that happen at the nighttime, let's talk about them. So our sleep-wake cycle regulates these hormones. The first one is human growth hormone. This helps us process food, aids muscle mass, and reduces body fat. Sleep is necessary for the body to repair the cells, as we all know. And HGH is the primary mechanism for our DNA repair. Now, we can also help our DNA repair when we run our AO scanner, and we'll talk about that. But you can run your chromosomes and your DNA every week, imprint a Cepheid dot, and work with your chromosomes in a different way. But anyway, I'll go off on that. So this hormone, this HGH, is released into the bloodstream at night, assuming that we sleep well, right? Leptin suppresses the hunger and decreases fat. How many women get frustrated because they cannot reduce that belly fat, that roll around the middle, no matter how hard they try and how hard they diet? Are they eating at the right time? Are they eating the right foods? Isn't it interesting that getting a good night's sleep can probably help that? Amazing, amazing. Let me show you a couple other little tricks. Rub your hands, shake them off. Put one hand below your belly button and the other hand up around the oh my gosh. When you do that, our cortisol occurs below our belly button. And when you do this, some people get really nauseated, some people get a charge. But what it does for me, I have had blood pressure problems, and when I get really psyched out when it's time to go to bed, so my heart's boom, boom, boom. And when I wake up, if I get to sleep in the morning, boom, 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 it's thumping really hard. So when I do this, hold this up here. You don't want to hold it tight because you want that blood to come to the surface, and hold it below. It calms that heartbeat down, and I can breathe. And then when that occurs, I put my hand above my belly button. That is where the kidney points and the adrenal points are. And we can calm them down. And when we calm those adrenals down, we don't have to take as much ylang-ylang, licorice root, or whatever you may be utilizing. We can work with the energies of our body. So that's one way cortisol. Also, when we eat a big meal, the glucagon cannot always be broke down within our stomach and within our liver. So where does it go? To those adipose tissues and to the cortisol. So we can help ourselves reduce the belly fat. So cortisol, of course, as I was just talking about, regulate the circadian rhythm and begins in about midnight, on average to 3 a.m. Do you wake up in between there? Spikes between 7 and 8 that allows you to wake up, get up, and start moving your day. If it's too much, again, put it up there. You want it to be high when you wake up so you are alerted and get to doing things and get things done. And a good night's sleep will help dissipate the cortisol that's too much in your body. And another one that we have is the ghrelin hormone. These are the hunger hormones because it makes you eat more and it stores weight by telling your brain you're hungry when you're actually not hungry. If you get hungry at night, you shouldn't eat past a certain time. We don't eat past 6 o'clock. Every once in a while, I cheat and have yogurt and golly gee, miss sweets. But you have to break that down. Give me just a sec. I wake up between 0 and 3. Okay. That's that liver talking to you. And we'll talk about that. That's Peter. He wakes up between those times. That's when that liver is really flying. And if you see where the liver is on here, here's the gallbladder and here's the triple warmer. And it gets energized and these just keep you awake the whole time. So when it helps you to ghrelin, these hunger hormones help you to process your glucose, your fat, your blood sugar, blood vessels, and protect lowering your blood pressure. But ghrelin levels go up when you diet. And it's an evolutionary instinct that you ensure you survive to get a good night's sleep. That is not what you want, but you want to stabilize your appetite while dieting. Have you ever just drank a cup of powdered beets or a green drink? They're not that bad. They give you protein, they give you energy, they fill your tummy with nutritious stuff that you need, not sugars and high fats and stuff that we don't need. And it helps us to be healthy. We need to affect our taste buds and allow the metabolism to occur within our body. And when we thump that spleen point, we're helping that metabolism. So remember, our meridians are in a 24-hour wheel. And if you run your meridians, I run mine sometimes 3 to 4 different times a day, depending on how I feel. But once you get to know your energies, you will understand. Now, I didn't have that here because that's a lot to go over for you to run. And we're going to run a little light anyway when it comes to this subject. So this is the triple warmer reactivity pose. I cannot stress how important this pose is. Again, rub your hands, shake that energy off. Thumbs, cross those points. You can lay your hands down, whatever, your elbows down. This is so vitally important because this is how you're going to shut down that flight, fight, and freeze, that triple warner. This is called the oh my God point because it's instinctive. How many times have you had something happen and you go, oh my God? How many times? We don't even think about it. Our body just goes there. Our hands just go there. So we use the electromagnetic energy in our hands to coax the body to get the blood back up into the frontal lobe instead of keeping it on that emotional loop where it keeps going from here, slipping back to the primitive, come back up, slip back to the primitive. Sure, absolutely. You just put your fingers like this. I'm not sure why you're not seeing the slides. You put your fingers like this, and the okay sign, put them on your temple and put them right across. We've got 2 bumps right here. Those are the neurovasculars. And you just hold this point. You can do it several times a day. I do it as soon as I feel it start slipping. And once you learn to work with your energy, you will notice when it starts to slip. and you can just bring it right back. Sometimes our vagus nerve goes too. We can rub, shake, and put our middle fingers right behind the hollows of our ears, and that calms that down, that cranial nerve 10, the vagus nerve. It's the longest nerve in our body, from the gut to the brain to the guts. Okay, neurovascular points. There are a ton of them, but we can use neurovascular points to retrain the stress in our body over time while falling asleep. And I didn't think it was going to work. Believe me, I did not. But it does. And I'm actually sleeping, which is, if people know me personally, they know that's a big shockaroonie for me to be sleeping. These elements they're deceptive, but they are so profoundly powerful just by placing your fingers on a couple things. So you hold your main neurovascular points. That's what we did here. And this is your roaming hand, or you can move it around. And you can put it on places where you have pain, and it will bring the blood to that area just by holding here. It is simply amazing. Like if I have neuropathy, if the pain is too much, I will hold this and wrap it around where that pain is, and it will go, it will dissipate. It will not completely go away, but it will come down to where I can walk without limping. There's so many things we can do. Again, with the magnet therapy, there's just so much. So when we work with these elements, and we're going to learn these in a second, the main ones, we release emotional baggage that goes along with them. And it cuts off my words. We suffer from emotions, and this, we can remove them through the body code, yes, but do not give up on this. It is really worth your effort to get this going. So these are elemental neurovascular and related emotions. And I want you to breathe deep. It's not a shallow, it's a breathe deep belly. So you start here. Back here is your water element. Again, that's where your neck ties on, your atlas ties on to your cranium. And you can walk this bone right up to the middle here. Oh, and mine is still sore. And this is where you're holding. And you could sorry. And this will bring energy to that area. So the water element holds in fear, hopelessness, and it can release it. And if you cry, that's pretty much normal to let those tears out. The next one back here, fire element, right there at the pineal gland, panic, lack of joy. It is amazing when you hold this point. Now the metal is on top, and that's the grief, letting go. And let me tell you, sometimes I can just hold here and it will just let it all go. So you need to play with it and see what you have. Wood elements right here, those temples. And sometimes when I have a headache, besides doing the crown pull and the other things I've taught, just doing this is enough for that migraine to dissipate, because we're shutting those elements down. We're releasing that energy, and I obviously needed that. And then the next one is here. Again, those stomach points, over compassion and worry. Hold them. Get used to holding them. Practice here if you're having trouble. How does it feel to you? So what is your subconscious stating when you cannot sleep? Are you having an inability to relax? Can you not and let it go? Are you too serious about life and you're trying to control everything? Because we can only control within that 3-foot radius. Trying to sound myself. Focused on the negative. Lord knows there's enough negative out there in that world today that we don't need to be focused on it. Are we judgmental? Are we opinionated? Are we easily irritated? Man, when you don't get sleep, you are easily irritated. Difficult in trusting others. Holding on to outdated beliefs and ideas. And this, your subconscious can say to you. So I have taken many classes on the sleep cycle. We're very aware, and I'm sure everybody's everywhere, that circadian rhythm runs every 24 hours. Just keeps reoccurring, whether we like it or not. There's not any more minutes, there's not any more hours. That's all there is. And it is mostly controlled by the hypothalamus gland, but it can be, as we've been talking about, influenced by external clues such as sunlight and temperature. If you all have arthritis or have any type of ME or chronic fatigue syndrome, et cetera, temperatures are going to make your body hurt, but we can work with that, amazingly enough. This can also be connected to the time zone in what you live in. All biological activities, such as brainwave activity, hormone production, cell regeneration, and most can be linked with certain times of the circadian rhythm. So what if you have moved and your body's not set to the circadian rhythm you're in now? So what you would do is you would go to the lovely meridian wheel, and you would start where your time zone is, and you would run it all the way around and end again. Again, I wish we had time to go over this tonight, but we don't. We know by our meridian cycles that certain organs and glands peak at certain times during the day and also through the night. And it's those ones peaking at night that keep us awake. So we need to have good sleep. We need to work with the imbalances within our body. In Dr. Brad's body code, he talks about the different times of days and the activities that occur within. But when I worked with the stages of the masterclass with Michael Brooks, he talked about the different stages of sleep. And these are not talked about. So there's stage 1 through stage 5. And you remove all imbalances under that. And then you remove, you take them as a whole and remove what is keeping them locked in that cycle. And you check for any fail-safes, anything underlying. There are so many things that we can do, but please remember there's also beliefs in there about sleep. If we've ever been hurt at nighttime, those beliefs are stuck in there. I should know. I've had to remove them. I haven't been able to remove them all. So that is why I still struggle. There are so many factors with sleep. But let me ask you this. How many of you struggle with sleep at night? Do all of you struggle with sleep at night? Everybody? Everybody. Okay. Would it be cool if we went ahead and worked on that? Would everybody be agreeable to me to work on that? Beautiful. God bless you. Okay, here we go. I'm going to connect to everybody's energy. I want everybody to take a deep breath, please. Relax your shoulders. Take a drink. As you can see, I do figure 8s to connect to your energy. Whew. Okay, stage 1. We're not going to go deep, deep, deep. Stage 1, sleep. First thing comes up is a toxin. First thing is EMF toxicity. So I'm going to use my opal and I'm just going to remove it. Now, this EMF toxicity, it's stopping me from corded appliances. So anybody that has a corded appliance in their bedroom, that means your doggone phones, TVs, whatever it is, unplug that. Remember, at nighttime and even during the day, if we don't have those spike strips, your EMF can be shooting through and it can be spiking and it'll blow through the wall and it'll go into your body. And it doesn't feel good. Remember that EMF spikes can damage our DNA. It can impair our cellular function. It can impair our energy production. There's so much it can do. It can also impair our root chakra to where all our organs are within that dynamic. Now can I release it? Nope, there's underlying. Everybody take a breath for me, please. This is terror, and it is corded to anxiety because you don't want to release that hold because you think you need that phone. You think you need it plugged in. We don't need it at night. We don't need that in our brain. We need to let that housing go. You will be safe without it. Take a big breath. Still doesn't balance stage 1. It's a broadcast message. That means it's going out to everybody else, whether it's on your chest, on your forehead, flashing in red, or whether you're in a megaphone. And it's treat me good. I'm glad you can feel the energy moving. It's what we're supposed to do. Treat me like a child. And this is an inner child. 10, no sense of self. So we're just going to remove this. And then we're going to remove treat me like a child. And we're going to tap it in an affirmation. I am a blessing. I am powerful. I am worthy. I am resilient. And I am sound in mind, body, and spirits. Take a breath. Blow it out. Okay, that balance stage 1. Stage 2. It's a no will energy. We can have energies to do things and a will energy not to do things. And it's a no will to be well energy. Take another breath. Due to resentment, this resentment is due to not being willing to forgive what occurred in the past. We're just going to release that. There's a belief code in here, but you can't do belief code with a whole group. You have to do it individually. And we are going to remove no will to be well, and that is actually a brain wall. So we're going to relieve that 365/7 permanently. Everybody take a breath and blow it out through your teeth. Let's touch that cerebellum. Do it again, please. One more time. Okay. Tap in. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. Okay. Sleep 2. Let's go to 3. Programming. Despair anchor. I'll never get ahead. And this is an oath that is made. So we're going to clear this oath. And we're going to remove this completely out of the energy field. And we're going to tap in. I create abundance daily in my life. I create wellness. The abundance flows to me like a river. Abundance is all around me in every faction that I desire. I am opening the doors to abundance to flow in. Take a breath. Good. Stage 3 is good. Stage 4, adrenaline, cortisol, and noradrenaline. I'm going to release these. Again, the oh my gosh points. So the reason your body will not slow down is because that triple warmer is keeping you awake. So if you're struggling with sleep, we need to go deeper than what we're going here. There's another toxin underneath the adrenaline, cortisol, and noradrenaline. It is a food toxin, and it's enriched flours, gluten sensitive. It is GMO made. Everybody just swipe that off. I'm going to use an opal. Now, does everybody muscle test their food before they eat? Please do so. Hold it to, per se, my little opal is your food. Now, you can do it muscle testing like this, okay? But if you're to hold it, whatever, I do it in the grocery store, man. I don't care who's watching. Hold it straight to your solar plexus. Have your feet out shoulder width. Clear your flipping mind and say, is this food for my highest good? And your body will sway forward if it is yes, and it will sway backwards if it is no. Get used to testing your food and find out if you're eating the proper food. Muscle test what time you're eating. Is it appropriate? And what do you do if everything is no? Then we need to check and see where your mindset is at. If you test everything as no, there's something disconnected within there. Okay, I made stage 4 happy. Stage 5, it's going to a magnetic field. And as we know, our magnetic field is the ground. We need to go out and earth our feet, and it's inflammation in our body. Going back to a despair anchor. I should have brought this up here for y'all could see. I'm sorry. There's not enough. And there's a trapped emotion in there. Complete and utter overwhelm. Is there not enough time? Is there not enough energy? Do you not have enough and sweetness in your life to allow you to sleep? I'm going to use my opal and we're just going to erase it. We're going to replace back here with honor. I trust in me. It doesn't want anything else. That's really surprising. Okay, stage 4, happy. Stage 5. Now, at times, this is a post-hypnotic suggestion. When we're laying awake at night and everything in our monkey mind is going crazy, we can think negative thoughts. Oh, yeah, I'm sure y'all know of that. And again, there's not enough. This is a brain wall. So we're going to go in here and release the brain wall, 365, 7 permanently. That's 365 days a year, 7 days a week. Take a breath. And you want to tap in. There is enough because I am powerful and resilient. And I am a priority to make my achievements. Okay, good. Now, to work with them as a whole, going straight to the nervous system, going to the somatic, micro and macro plastics. I just read an article a couple weeks ago. We actually, and this is mind-blowing, eat a tablespoon of plastic a week because there's so much plastic sloughing off on everything. That causes imbalances in our body. So at nighttime, I'm removing micro and macro plastics out of my body to help me sleep. If you stop to think about it, the earth is breaking down. Everything's wrapped in plastic. Our clothes have plastic. Our shampoos are in plastic. Our skincare is in plastic. Everything is in flipping plastic. You can change the energy of plastic by doing figure 8s, by taking it, whatever product you have in your hand, you take it and you go counterclockwise all the way up to the top of your aura. You pull the 3 strands out, you go clockwise back over and figure 8 it. And that changes the energy of that product. Okay, that's all it's going to let me do. So I'm going to break from you. Now, I don't know if you can feel the energy. Now, the AO scanner. I know y'all hear me talk about this business all the time, but it's a heck of an investment. I have got this on Blue Dream Love and Wellness. So while we're all sitting here, this is playing on stress and tension, because when we have insomnia, we have stress and we have tension. We can run scans within this beautiful machine that can read your hormones, which ones are flying too high. There's so many scans that are available in this machine. There's $30,000 worth of actual blood tests. And then there are the frequencies, the Cephis, the AO tuner, there's the MindSync. There's just so much. This is a $149 investment a month for your health and wellness. And it's worth it because of the simple fact you don't have to go to the doctor as much. You don't have to overtake herbs. It'll tell you what you need. It is simply amazing when you set it off of a little voice clip, can tell you so much information. And we can run them on animals. And you can send frequencies to your home. You can send frequencies to your children while they're at school. You can send frequencies to yourself. My AO scanner is on 3 different devices and it runs 22 hours a day. It's only shut off 2 hours. That is how much I use this machine. I always put a plug in there. Okay. How many of you know the emotional freedom technique? Oops, my computer just froze just a second. Doggone it. Nobody. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay. So emotional freedom technique, I've been doing it the last few times. I've known about it for a coon's age, many, many moons, but I didn't bother doing it because I thought it was rather silly. Like tapping on certain points are going to work. Holy cow, does it work? I used to have a Spitfire temper and it would boom. I'm Irish, it gets hot quick. And I have been able to calm my temperature down and help myself with anxiety and sleep through the night by doing this technique. So the emotional freedom technique is helpful. And here's just a setup statement and a quick sequence for tapping for sleep. So you always want to start at the karate chop. You can make up any sequence. You can change the words. You can add to the words, own it yourself. And you can start out with, even though I have trouble sleeping, I deeply and completely accept myself. It's very important that we accept ourselves. And then we want to go to the inside edges. This trouble sleeping, side of the eye, this difficulty falling asleep under the eye, this restlessness at night under the nose, this tension in my body, the anxiety about not sleeping, this on the collarbone, the worry about tomorrow under the arm, this stress and tension, top of the head. I choose to relax and let go. You can do this many, many times. It is amazing. Yes, it is. Blows your mind when you first try it. Certainly, certainly does. And you can do so many beautiful things. So let me just run you through something real quick. I want you just to lean back. I want you to rub your hands, shake them off. I want them to put them on your heart center, right on that middle. I know we're running over. And just take a deep breath and close your eyes. This is another thing we can do at night when we're laying there in bed. You have your hands on your heart center. Okay, you can grip them like this, you can put them like this, and then cross your ankles. And then I want you to just start out at your feet. And just imagine you're drawing 3 hearts around them and you're thanking your feet for all the work they did today. Just think about how much those feet move, how much weight they carry. Be grateful and happy for them and let them relax. Take a deep breath. Go up to your shins and your calves. Again, give them a heart, give them a figure eight. Allow yourself to ingratiate and be thankful and grateful for all that they do, and allow them to relax. Come up to those precious knees. Lord, they do a lot of bending and a lot of moving for us through the day. Thank them. Be gracious to them and let them relax. Come up to your thighs. Put your hands on your thighs. Ground yourself deep into Mother Earth and allow it to flow through you. And be grateful for all that your thighs do during the day, and let them relax. And then come up to your hips. Lord have mercy, your hips do so much work during the day. Draw them some hearts, ingratiate them with love and thankfulness. Just allow that root chakra just to relax. Deep breathe again, relax. The more you deep breathe and the deeper you breathe, the more it will relax. Go up to your abdominal area. Draw hearts and figure eights around your abdominal area. Think what all your intestines, your kidneys, your bladder, your liver, your pancreas, your stomach, all those beautiful organs and glands do throughout that day. Be thankful for them and let them relax. Come up to your heart center and just imagine the beauty that your heart does, your lungs, that rib cage, all the beautiful workings of the thymus gland. Oh, your meridians, it is so beautiful. Come up to your throat. Think of all the chambers that come across your heart, because every single one of our chakras come across this throat. Even though we don't know about it yet, they do. And you could do figure eights over them. Come to your face. Look at all the work, that brain, those eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears have all done today. Just be thankful. Allow your monkey mind to just calm. Breathe in peace and love. Breathe out the dark energy, and just allow your body to relax. There are so many beautiful things that we can do to enhance our body. It is simply amazing when you do so. So I hope that helps you relax tonight and you sleep better. It looks like Dave's out. Beautiful. So we are going to close. I know we were on there a while. Does anybody have any questions? I knew I threw a lot at you, but if you have a question, don't hesitate to unmute and ask. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. Remember, if you have a problem with sleep, let's go into it a little bit deeper, because there's pillow talk, there's stuff that go bump in the night. There's so many things that we can do extra things for, but taming down that triple warmer is so very important. Cedra, go ahead, please.
Thanks so much. So in the beginning, we talked about the homolateral crossover, and
Mhm.
you said 3 sets of 3. Can you repeat me what?
You just do it 3 times on each side. So I do it when I do the cross, I do it to a count of 12. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, do it 12 times, and then I breathe, and then I pop it every other, and then I breathe, and then I do it again, and then I do it again, and then I do it again, and I do it again.
Okay, so 12,
All
pop,
three.
pop, pop, 12, pop, 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 12. Okay, thank you.
Because remember, when our subconscious minds are not crossing and we're homolateral, we can't think properly. And it does take a while to train that triple warmer to actually get out of its mode. The triple warmer, when you run the actual meridian of the triple warmer, again, it all starts right here with our index. You want to come up, go across, come up and around. Excuse me. And you want to do it on both sides. The triple warmer keeps us stuck in bad habits. And there's so many ways to shut it down. But we have to start slowly, because if you throw too much at it, it's going to be completely overwhelmed and it's not going to work for you. And you're going to go, nothing's working, I'm done. But believe you me, it will work the more you practice and the more you do it. Okay. Any other questions? Whoops, Peter, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Beautiful.
Okay. You were talking about 0.8 and starting the melatonin. Where is that 0.8? Or how to do it?
0.8. Let me go back through. Are you talking about a meridian flow of 0.8?
I don't know. You were talking how to start melatonin manually, just rubbing somewhere.
Oh, the melatonin point. Right behind our knees. If you feel when you're sitting in the chair, right, and your knees are bent, go right behind your knees. Oh, we're storming here. I hope I keep ya. Hoo-wee. Right behind your knees, squarely in the back, you'll feel a little knot. Mine is really swollen, like always. Do you feel it? You can
Okay.
literally feel a knot behind your knees, and you want to rub that crosswise. Go to the right. Can you feel it?
Yes.
Okay, you want to rub that. That is your melatonin right there. And when that is swollen like that, it's not producing like it needs to. You can tap it, you can figure eight it, you can massage it to the right, or you can take your fingers woo, and go over it like this. Yes, light it out there, you guys. Tug on it, and it just pulls. So, woo, I think I'm gonna go. Peter, can you text me and I will get back with you? I don't want to
Yes.
lose, because this will lose the whole thing we're still on.
Okay.
God bless you. God bless you. Mwah. Thank you for coming tonight. Have a beautiful evening. If you have any questions afterwards and you're thinking, God, what did she tell me? Reach back out, okay? Okay. God bless you.